Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another exciting episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He is Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight. This woman has been in the game for 7 years. That's right, lucky number 7. She's doing a lot of great things. She's actually faced off against opponents like Thunder Rosa, Sumi Sakai, Willow Nightingale, many others. And she's also a former 2-time, that's right, deuces up, ECWA Women's Champion. Everybody, welcome to the show, the gift of Gabby Ortiz. How you doing tonight, Miss?
Good, hell of an entrance. Thank you. I forgot about half that stuff.
That just goes to show how great you are. I mean, if you're forgetting all of those notable people I just mentioned, that means you are phenomenal, and you're definitely on your way. If you haven't arrived yet, you're definitely on your way.
Hope so.
So I just got to say thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedules to be on our show. Rob Bass here was actually very excited. He's like, "Whoa, cool, Gabby, she's a cool person, man. Yo, I can't wait to be on the show." I was like, "Calm down, Rob, calm down. Here's a taco, a soft shell taco, and you'll be fine." He was jumping for joy and whatnot. And I understand too. I mean, you're pretty much doing your thing, and it's an honor to have you on here. So how you been these days?
Good. I took a lot of the I was ready to come back full force in the summer after a mental health break that I took, and then got hurt like my first match back. And I kept that very private. I didn't really tell anybody about it until a couple 2 weeks ago when a promoter blew up my spot. I had told him I couldn't be at his show to perform because I was hurt. And then I did a convention that day instead because I didn't want to just waste my day. But he misunderstood what I said as I was sick and that I just decided to not do a show. So I had to publicly go out and tell everybody, hey, I'm not I didn't get back out of this show because I lied to him about being sick. I'm hurt. And I was very upset about that. But people were very cool and understanding about it. But it was an injury that happened in June, and come fall, I feel a lot better. It was in my hand, and when it's your hand, it's every single day. You have to acknowledge that there's an injury there because you're always using your hands. And I'm not one that likes to work through injuries because I have one body, and I love my body, and I protect it, and I care for it, like I do for anybody else that I love. And I know not people that do work through injuries. I totally get it, but I don't. I have other means of income and ways to, keep myself relevant in the business. But now I'm feeling really good. So I'm ready to come back. My first match back was last weekend with Vicious Vicky at ISBW. And my next match is Saturday at CCW. It's a triple threat tag match. It's a 3-way tag match. I don't even know how to describe it because it's a trios match.
Is that? Oh, okay. I thought it was the roulette match because I'm trying my best to be there on Saturday because I've been to CCW before. Shout out to my good friend Marcello, who's probably watching this right now. But I've been to there and I was like, wow, the trip was a bit, tricky because I had to take a 6:30 a.m. I live in New York. I live in Brooklyn. Okay. And the show was in New Jersey. I forgot where it was.
Was it in Paulsboro?
I think it was. I think. No. It was the one in February. Whichever one. It was in February. And
Delaware?
No, it wasn't Delaware. It was in New Jersey, but I forgot where it was. But Oh, I think it was Westville. I think that's what it was called, Westville.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I live in Brooklyn, and I was figuring out how to get there. And I was like, wait a minute, if I leave at this time, I'm gonna get there way past the show. So I gotta leave at this time. So around 4 o'clock, I was up and about out the door of my house, 4 a.m. in the morning, to catch a 6:30 a.m. bus to get to CCW for, I think it was an early day show. It was like around 12, I think it started. So I was like, it was a bit of a trek, but at the
Yeah.
same time, at the end of the day, it was well worth it. I was very entertained. I made several connections, and I look forward to doing the same thing, God willingly, when I get to Richfield, which is actually closer to
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah.
at. So, but yeah, but I must commend you for, taking time out, to let yourself heal, not just physically, but also mentally as well. Because I always
Yeah.
tell people, mental health's a big thing. And I always tell
Yeah.
people, if your mind is not 100% into it, don't do it. Give people your best. If you know you're not mentally there, there's no shame in it. It happens. And these days, it's not a shame to admit when you know that if you're not mentally there. It's not.
Yeah.
It's better you admit it than something goes wrong and then you never tell anybody. I rather so I commend you for that. I know it wasn't easy. It's never
No.
easy, but especially with stepping away from wrestling. But kudos to you for doing that. I'm not trying to put you on blast. I'm commending you. Kudos for doing that. And we're glad to have you back,
Yeah.
better than ever. And I'm looking forward to see you kick some butt.
Yeah,
This
for sure.
Saturday,
No,
CCW.
when it comes to my mental health, I'm extremely open about that because I always have been, especially since like my first bout in 2020 when it was really bad, and then I realized like, okay, people aren't really talking about this in a serious light. It's all people always like, oh, here's suicide hotline and mental health is so important, but they don't talk about like the nitty gritty of what mental health and what suicide prevention and harm reduction really is, because it's like not pretty. um it's not easy, but it's important to speak about, and I think it's just as important to speak about those type of injuries as it is for your physical injuries as well, because mental health injuries can cause physical injuries very easily. So especially if you are not at your best and you go into the ring, and anything can happen. So it's extremely important to me and my journey, and I know to other people's journeys. I know not everyone is as open as talking about it as I am, or others that I know. But my DMs are always open. So if anybody needs an ear, I'm here.
Yeah, we always say that too. I mean, I'm always open. I'm always open to hearing people out and so on, giving people some motivation. Whenever I'm on my personal social media, I'm always giving people some motivation. And like I said, I'm glad you're back. You're 100%. Um, and like I said, Gabby, I'm gonna tell you right now. You may not believe this, but I'm pretty sure there is some young girl in the crowd that is watching you and it's saying, you may not believe, but when you think nobody is looking, they're looking. When we started this podcast, myself, Rob Bass, and our other co-host Kath Knight, who couldn't be here tonight, when we started this, we never believed we could inspire people. And right when I've had bouts too, and I'm like, man, why am I even bothering Side Society, man? I hit this person up, they don't even hit me back on DMs, or they leave me on red, and they're a big time person. And I'm not whining. It's just like, man, and then, or sometimes it's somebody that just got in, and I'm like, man, I guess we're not good enough. And sometimes it's like, maybe I should just call it quits. And I've had bouts like that. I've like, maybe I just call it quits, man. But then again, and Rob is probably, this is the first time you're probably going to hear this, but I think of Rob and Kathy, I'm like, what they're going to think, well, damn, like, I enjoy, having this show, talking to people. And I was like, there's nowhere else for me to go. And then all of a sudden I get people saying, wow, Ringside say you guys are doing great work. Dude, you actually inspired me to start my own podcast, my own YouTube channel. So I'm like, wow, I'm actually, for lack of a better term, flabbergasted by, by these few comments. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll keep on going. So you never know who's watching out there, Gabby. So just keep on, as long as you're 100%, keep on keeping on, And I saw you went to Stardom in Japan. So we're gonna talk about it in a minute. But let's take a time traveling trip back in a DeLorean or a telephone booth like early Keanu Reeves, and let's go back to let's go back to your past. And the question I'm going to ask you about your past is, how did you become a fan of pro wrestling? How did it start for you?
Um, it was never really something that I chose to like. It was always on at home. My dad and my brother always watched it. I feel like a lot of people have that same sort of they had that same upbringing as I did. So it was just always on. And then I kind of had my own thing going on with music throughout my teens, and I sort of like not forgot about wrestling, but I wasn't too interested. I was focused on other things, music and acting. And then I don't know, one day I just looked at the TV and it caught my eye again, and I was like, what's going on? What's going on in WWE? It's been a while since I've been here. And it just really stuck with me when I was like kind of artistically burnt out and didn't anticipate practicing what I'd been studying for my whole life, basically. That being music, musical theater, and acting. When I was, yeah, I was just artistically burnt out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into hair, makeup. I wanted to go into politics. Wanted to keep maybe doing music, but music business. Like I was like dipping my toes into different things, and nothing spoke to me the way that wrestling did, which was strange because I'm not particularly athletic. I don't know if you noticed when I was talking about all the things I used to do, sports wasn't one of them. Like I wasn't like an athlete. I wasn't a gym rat, nothing like that. But I just liked wrestling because I liked that it had everything. It had fashion with the gear. That's fashion 100%. Um, you can even call the entrance a runway if you want to. Music, me and my best friend collaborated on my entrance music together. So I was able to do music. It's acting in every sense of the word. There's theater production because there's lights, there's script. It's live theater. It's other than sport, it's everything that I had been studying my entire life. So it was really fun to go in there, and I felt like my art wasn't challenging me anymore. So adding that element of athleticism in sport was extremely important to me, in challenging me and challenging my art and challenging who I am as a person. And I'm really happy that I did it because I learned a lot about myself, um, and what my body is capable of. So that's the long answer to that question.
No, Gabby, I don't mind. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you've been following. You probably. I don't know if you've looked at our track record before.
Yeah.
We once had a woman here that had us on the show on air for 4 hours.
It's not
Who
gonna
was it?
happen here. I'm not
I
gonna do
know,
that to you.
I know. But who had it? Who was it? It was Paige's mom, Soraya Knight.
Oh, that sounds
So
right. That sounds right.
so trust me, if we can handle that, we're good. We don't mind you giving us, long answers. It's us all good. We're here for y'all. But I gotta say, given what you just told me, that you studied music and acting and theater production and politics, and you did you're getting into the makeup and everything. You're, in my opinion, you're pretty advanced, and I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me. Because I mean, I'm not in the business, but from the outside looking in, from a fan's perspective, and I'm talking like an analytical fan or somebody that watches stuff. Your theater and you getting into theater, music, and politics, those three right there, you're already ace at that. That helps with like the promo work because you obviously have to use your voice. You have to, sell yourself with the political side to the crowd. So you're pretty much there.
Yeah, I mean, I had all the my coach said it. If you get a chance to watch her show on Apple TV, he says it about me. He's like, she had everything you needed. She has everything you need to make it because like I came in with this skill set that like people think that, oh, you just need to be like a musclehead, an athlete, and then you can make it. And that's like so not true. I went to a WWE tryout and I was blowing freaking CrossFit football players Olympic weightlifters out of the water with personality and with athleticism at that point because I had been training for like 3 years. Um, so it's so much more than just the look and the athleticism of it because like if you can't captivate an audience, like you're not gonna make money. You're not gonna make money, you're not gonna like have places to work because you're just kind of boring. And I've seen it happen a million times. And I've also seen the really difficult thing of taking someone that doesn't have an artistic skill set and learning that. That takes a lot. That takes a lot of work too. It takes just as much work as someone like me who didn't have an athletic background to become athletic, as it does to take someone who is athletic to become, you know, um, captivating and exciting to watch outside of just being athletic.
Wow, that's cool. But I gotta say, kudos on getting that derby tryout. And like I said, I expect to see. I know I'm not expect. I know I'm going to see more great things from you. I'm not going to ask how you got into wrestling because we know you went to the Monster Factory, the world famous Monster Factory in Pennsylvania, where people like the Big Show and I believe Bam Bam Bigelow have actually trained out of as well too. Two legends right there. So I know you don't have to tell me. I know it was intense and everything. But you went to one of my favorite places in the world. A place where I actually served. Actually, I was stationed for 3 years when I was with the Navy, Japan, and you were in Stardom. So tell us how that was. And I see the good side. I know. Go ahead. Tell us how it was.
Japan is also one of my favorite places in the world. It's so wonderful there. The people there are polite, and I feel like me as a person, I'm very I I fit in more with that kind of mentality of like a mindfulness of others than I do sometimes living in Philadelphia where it's like very self-oriented because like I look at the world as like we're a collective of people and we should be taking care of others and being mindful and polite of others, and in Japan that's like the whole philosophy of their society, which like I'm sure you understand and you lived it. It's fantastic. I want to go back so bad. I was really I've been saying lucky for a really long time about my trip to Japan, but it was more than luck. Like I was asked to be there for a reason. Um, and I was a fill-in for somebody at the tryout that got hurt. She was still at the tryout, but she couldn't participate. So she basically gifted me her spot, so they could fill out the room. So that when the owner of Stardom was watching the tryout, there wasn't like any gaps of people. So I was a seat filler basically, but I had nice gear. I had a good look. I could cut a promo. Uh, my wrestling wasn't great. I had maybe 5 matches in the United States at that point. But I had Karen Q who put me through a match, which was amazing. Her and Nikki Adams both put me through matches. Nikki Adams is an amazing person. I don't know if she's wrestling too much anymore, but she's lovely. And they both put me through probably my better matches that I have had at that up until that point. And I guess because I was sort of a blank slate and I was competent, they felt comfortable bringing me in because a lot of the girls that were there already were extremely established, had their look, had their move set, had their character and everything already ready to go, and Stardom was looking for someone that didn't have any of that yet. And I didn't have any of that yet. I just had some pretty basic, cute gear, but basic. And they were like, yeah, we can take her and kind of just like make her into a Joshi pro wrestler for the 2 months we have her. And they did. And it was an extremely incredible experience. I mean, I roomed with with Piper Niven and Tony Storm. So they were my roommates when
Oh,
I was there, which was really cool. I wrestled in a tag with Tony, and I got cannonballed by Viper, and then we also drank way too heavily while we were there together. So it was a great time.
yeah. You gotta whenever unless you're not you're not a person that drinks alcohol. You gotta have a few drinks in Japan. Trust me, I've had a few as well. I'm not ashamed. I'm a fan of the habusaki, which is if you know. I don't know if you know what it is, but it's the snake venom shot. But
I
yeah,
just had Strong Zero when I was there.
okay. That works too.
That's what it was. It was Tony's favorite drink, so we just all drank it.
Awesome. So
But it was good. It was good.
did you get your Ribera jacket?
No, we didn't get to go to Ribera, which is okay.
Uh,
I didn't. I wasn't like a huge. I didn't know much about like the Japanese wrestling culture and that was like a big thing until I was like already a couple weeks in, and I was kind of like, oh, if it happens, cool. Then I'll have the picture, but it wasn't. It wouldn't be for me. It would just be to show off. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad you got to go to Japan. I'm always happy when I see wrestlers get to travel outside of the country, outside of the continent. I mean, Canada, yeah, that's cool. Mexico, yeah, but it's great to and this is no slight to Mexico. It's great to wrestle over there, but like when I see them going to places like Europe and Australia and South America and Japan, it's like it's always a great thing. I'm always happy because you're pretty much somebody likes you so much. You're getting paid, you know, to actually fly over there, how many miles away from home
Yeah.
to wrestle in front of a foreign crowd. So I'm always happy when people get those opportunities.
Yeah. It's always really exciting. I like seeing my friends. Just get to go out to just go get to see the world in that way. And like you're doing it for work, but when it's wrestling, it almost doesn't feel like work because it's like what you love to do. So it's like a free vacation sometimes. Like I have well, I don't know if I'd consider I don't know if we're friends anymore, but like a good pal of mine is in Europe and another good friend of mine is in Japan. And it's just like it's so cool to see that. I mean, like it's these people who have been perfecting their craft for like a really long time. And I was lucky because I went when I went to perfect my craft. These people are already like vets in my opinion, and they're there like showing off their craft to this international crowd, which is really
Yeah.
cool. And like that's something that I would want to do now that I'm a little bit older and like a little bit more seasoned. I want to go back to Japan or to Europe or anywhere else in Asia, and show off. Even Mexico too, Puerto Rico. I would love to go to Puerto Rico. I don't know if that's not really it's not really international, but you get on a plane to go there, so
It's
I
gonna,
count it.
yeah, it's still another place. It's off the mainland. It's out
Yeah.
of town. So it's all it's that would definitely count too
Yeah, I even
as
consider like
well.
Alaska kind of like almost international. It's like a different country there. I
Yeah,
know that a company out here in Jersey, Wrestle Pro, does Alaska trips
oh
all the
yeah.
time. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
they have their own market out there, which is super cool. So I mean
yeah.
everyone loves wrestling in the world, so
So I was going to ask you. So in terms of theater, theater, you being into theater and acting and whatnot, um, which if somebody were to want to see some plays, um, like they're not into theaters, but like they were like, hey Gabby, I'm gonna hit up Broadway, I'm gonna hit up wherever theater shows at. What three plays would you recommend that person to check out if they
um
were to get into if they were to like get into that sort
I
of entertainment?
I feel like people because they say I don't like plays, a lot of the time they're saying I don't like musicals and they've never been to like a straight play. A straight play is a play without songs. It's just straight. So I would recommend Rent. No, Rent is all music. There's barely any talking in that one. Actually, no, I'd recommend it. It's my favorite. So go see Rent. Um Death of a Salesman is one of my absolute favorite plays, and there's always somebody putting it on somewhere. It doesn't have to be Broadway. You can see a local theater and watch it. It's a Tennessee Williams. Is it Tennessee Williams? Doesn't matter. It's called Death of a Salesman. It's amazing. And probably if you want to go super deep into like the birth of theater, I would go a Greek play called Antigone. It's easy to follow. It's kind of fucked up. Sorry, can I curse?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Great. It's a fucked up play, and it's like one of the first ever plays of ever of any time. And then you said three. I'm gonna put a fourth in. A Midsummer's Night Dream by Shakespeare is one of
Oh,
my favorite Shakespeare
Shakespeare.
plays.
When I was in my first year of college, I saw Othello, and I was like, okay, I will never doubt the woman I date again. I will. ask first, because it was all, and I'll also watch who's around me too, because when I look at that play, and obviously it's a tragedy because it's Shakespeare. It always ends up kind of
Yeah.
bad.
That's
It
why,
was
but I
like,
picked A Midsummer's Night Dream because it's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. It's very
oh,
funny.
thank you. Oh, geez, I thought Shakespeare just
It's a
had.
very funny play, and it ends nicely. It's not a tragedy, not like Macbeth or uh, like any of those guys, like Othello and
Yeah,
Hamlet was what I was thinking of.
yeah, I read in my senior year of high school. I read All's Well That Ends Well. That was a bit funny, and
Yeah.
it was sort of a tragedy. And then I saw in college, I saw Othello, and I was like, man, like that's kind of messed up. How one of your closest confidants was so jealous of you that he would like ingrain in your mind that your own significant other is cheating on you, and she wasn't. She was loyal to him. So I was like, yeah, I'll never do that. I'll never be that guy. I will make sure I.
Gotta tell you a lesson.
But we,
Those plays are meant to teach human lessons as you watch them. Like Romeo and Juliet, for example, is not a love story. People think it's this tragic love story. It's a lesson. It's a lesson to not like fall into something so quickly that you end up like really hurting yourself or others. It's a lesson on just not being stupid, not being a stupid teenager. Um, so it's
yeah,
like people, and it's a lesson also on on the futility of just fighting for decades and decades and decades. Like the families, like in the play, the Montagues and the Capulets, they don't know why they're fighting with each other. They have no idea. That's never covered. It's never. They just hate each other, and then it ends up with the deaths of the two children in the family because they're 14 years old. They're 14 and I think 19, respectively, with Juliet and Romeo, and it's not a love story. So when people say like, "Oh, you're my Romeo," "Oh, you're my Juliet," it's like, "Oh, so you're about to die." Like that's like what that is. So Shakespeare is always about lessons. His plays at least are.
yeah.
The
It's
only Shakespeare that I know of was the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. The one
I
with
love that
yeah,
one.
that
How
one.
did I know
That
he was
and
gonna say that?
I
and when Arnold Schwarzenegger did the one in Last Action Hero where he did Hamlet, where he's like to be or not to be, and then blew them all up. That's about all my Shakespeare right there. But I don't know
That's good
about Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Buzz.
Yeah, I don't know
No,
about Shakespeare in Love or any of that. I mean, I probably do, but not offhand. But
so Shakespeare in Love is totally historical fiction. None of it's real. It's just made up.
okay,
So
okay.
you're
You
good.
two, you two just gave me an epiphany. Baz Luhrmann, who actually directed the Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah.
starred film, also did one called wow, what was it again? The Great Gatsby, and then he recently did a historical one with Elvis. Everybody that starred in those films died. So you two just had me thinking maybe Baz Luhrmann just might be this era's Shakespeare because I
Yeah.
I mean maybe I'm missing something. And for those of you, I've only seen three Baz Luhrmann movies. He's like one of those guys that he makes one every 5 or 10 years, but
Yeah.
they're a gem, something you definitely must pay money to see.
Yeah.
But like for his last year, they like the last couple he made, the person died in the end. So it's like, what's going on here? Is this guy like the, the,
So
the new Shakespeare or what?
I think Boz Luhrmann. I don't know if I would go as far as saying the new Shakespeare because he's not really taking properties that don't already exist. Like Shakespeare made up everything that he did. Boz takes stories that already exist
Right.
and morphs them into this like into it's a trip watching his movies. Um, but I think Boz is specifically interested in stories with historical fiction in mind because except for with Elvis because that's all completely true that all happened. But with the Great Gatsby is the tale of the fall of the American dream. Romeo and Juliet is the folly of love and man. And Elvis is fucking Elvis. I don't even know. It's
Yeah.
just like it's almost like the a lesson in just in greed and gluttony because you see how Elvis sort of like um he kind of just expands in like a good way and a bad way that ends up kind of killing him in the end.
Yeah.
So
Wow, but yeah, I just thought it. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, yeah. Not necessarily he's this era Shakespeare. Like he's this, I guess, like he just loves his tragedies,
Yeah.
those directing tragedies.
He's good at
To better
it.
put it. So I just got two more questions to ask you for. You know, I know Rob is actually itching to ask you a couple questions as well too. So you are a former two-time deuces up everybody ECWA women's champion. I mean, the people that have held that belt. You got Renee Michelle. You got the current CCW champion Christina Marie. WWE star Scarlett Bordeaux, WWE NXT star Karen Q. You actually, won that title. I believe it was in a tournament or a match. It was vacant at the time, and you held that title for 270 days. Kudos to you on that. But I gotta ask you, man, what was it like? ECWA has been around since the '60s. What was it like when they announce you as the winner? They put that belt in your hand, and you're holding a belt from a prestigious company as ECWA, the same company that has had the Super 8 and now recently the women's Super 8 as well, to which you took part in 2021, 2 years ago. What was it like getting that championship? What was going through your mind at that time?
I mean, the first time I held it was just for one match in a tournament. I won it off Scarlett Bordeaux, and then I lost it to Kelly Kincaid, who is now a correspondent for NXT. Um, she went by Quinn McKay back then. And the last time I held it, I basically strong armed it off of the company because it was vacant. I was like, I'll take it, and I held on to it for dear life. And then frankly, it wasn't fulfilling anymore. I hate to say it, it just wasn't fulfilling for me anymore. I felt like uh, I wasn't defending it the way that I would have liked to, and that goes into the politics of professional wrestling. And it just wasn't a good fit for me anymore. And I just graciously kind of vacated it the way that it had been vacated before, because I got it because it was vacated. And I believe Erica Lee holds it now. I could be totally wrong. I don't even know if it exists anymore. But holding it and working for that company and doing two Super 8s was a dream come true. It was something that I wanted to do when my friend had been in the men's Super 8, and I knew how storied it was. And I just wanted to do it so bad. And then when they invited me to be a part of one of I think like the third women's Super 8, I was so down, and it was a really great experience while it was happening, and I'm really happy that I got that experience. And um, I mean, they're still a local company, so if it ever comes back again that we want to work together, I'm sure we can make something work.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's great that you actually got the chance to hold that title. I tell you,
Yeah.
you're just making Philadelphia proud, man. Like that's really cool. So now we could say, and I mean this was zero sarcasm, but Philadelphia gave us three great things, right? We got Philly cheesesteaks, right? And we got Rocky Balboa, and now we got Gabby Ortiz, the gift of Gab,
Yeah.
back and
I'm
better
real
than
though.
ever.
I'm real.
So
Rocky is not.
yeah, yeah, she's definitely 100% real, 100% real right here. So I gotta ask you, right, like just my last question, one time for the masses out there that are going to be watching you this Saturday. You know, what can we expect? You're back, stronger, faster, better. What can we expect to see from Gabby Ortiz at CCW Misery, their debut at the Mecca this Saturday? What
I
message do you
mean,
have for your opponents as well, too?
I'm coming in with the ferocity of Red October right now. Like I'm a Philadelphia Phillies fan through and through, and I'm taking their winning streak along with me. I'm taking their sweeps along with me. I'm going in there like it's my postseason, it's my playoffs, it's my NLDS, and I'm gonna hit a bunch of home runs on some girls' faces. So that's where I'm at.
Woo, okay, hey, it's about to be a movie, and I'm gonna definitely try my best to be there,
Yeah.
front row. and just to see that, man. So those of you that are gonna be in that are gonna be in like that are in New York or New Jersey, make sure you head on over, check out this show. It's definitely gonna be a fun one. And with
Yes.
that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob Bates. Kind of Rob has a couple of questions, so Rob, go ahead, man. Floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, man. So what's going on? How are you doing today?
Hi,
How's your
Rob. I'm
Thursday
good. How
been?
are you?
I'm well, just hanging out, ready to do the show. Hoping my dogs haven't been glad my dogs haven't been barking and stuff because I'm out in the country and the Amish like to go by and they bark at the horses. So I've been good. I've been good so far. They've been sleeping, so I'm good. I'm good. You know. So how's your Thursday been? Has it been just a normal Thursday, just regular day, crazy
Yeah.
day, just normal day?
Oh, just super, super duper normal. I worked from home, which is always really nice.
Sweet.
And I slept in a little bit, and I got to take a nap, and I hung out with my cats.
Oh,
And
nice.
oh, it's this my favorite kind of day. Nothing happened.
Oh yeah, sweet. Hey, naps and hanging out with cats. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. Shoot. Hey, and plus you can sleep in. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Shoot,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So I do gotta ask. You were talking about being over there in Japan and stuff and all. I do gotta ask. What was your like? Did you go do any sightseeing over there? Because I live in the country and stuff. So when I go to cities like Philly, New York and stuff, I'm pretty much like Crocodile and Dundee. Like a car? What's a car? You know what I mean? So I need to know what like places are. Like cool places to visit. If you did any of that stuff, or you just do the wrestling thing.
Yeah, no, we wrestled basically every weekend. We had 2 weekends that we didn't. I was there for 2 months. So I had plenty of off time, and I wasn't working either. Working from home was like not a concept yet, so I had to take a 2 month sabbatical from my job, which they were totally fine with. Thank goodness. I just was unpaid, which was fine because I was getting paid in Japan. But um, I would kind of spend my days just going on the train and
Yep.
exploring. I'd go to Akihabara, which is a big kind of like video game arcade sort of
Ooh.
hub in Tokyo. I went there all the time to just play with the games and stuff. And then Shinjuku, I would go to Shinjuku for shopping. Harajuku for shopping. I shopped a lot. And then sometimes I would just go get lost. Like I would go into like little residential neighborhoods and walk around. I was lucky because like I know a lot of the girls that would go there weren't like were kind of from where an area like where you're from, like the country and or suburbs and stuff. I'm from a city. I've lived in a city my whole life. If you give me an L train or like a subway, I'm fine. I'll always find my way back. Um, and I did every single time. Like, so obviously I came back. But there was one instance when this is goes back to like the mindfulness of others in Japan when it was raining and my phone died and I
Mm.
just needed to get to a train and a guy saw me under like an overpass and he asked me in very broken English where I needed to go and I said I just need to go to the train and he put his umbrella over me and walked me to the train and then let me go. Like he could have murdered me and he didn't. But I also went to the Sky Tree there, which is in Tokyo. It's kind of like their Space Needle.
Okay.
Went all the way to the top. A lovely sponsor for our wrestling company, Stardom, took me and another girl there. And it was just wonderful. It was really, really wonderful. You can find anything to do in Tokyo. Like you can go to like little temples and stuff that are outside and like make wishes. If I go back there, like I don't even know if I would necessarily have an itinerary because I love
Mhm.
to just explore and just go into random buildings and see what's in there and like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, that's how I go about my exploring.
Hey, sounds like a good time to me. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I know I've seen pictures of Japan. It always looks gorgeous and just beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh man, it's so great. I want to see those mountains and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Just yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Oh man. So you're talking earlier and stuff about like your WWE tryouts and stuff and all. You also got to be on AEW and all. What was that experience like? How did that come about? You going on AEW?
So luckily I know QT Marshall is one of the producers and also one of the wrestlers there. He trained me. He was like
Mhm.
one of my him and Damian Priest were my trainers, which
Oh,
I think
nice.
is yeah. And what's funny about Damian Priest is I am the only student He's had a bunch of students, but I'm the only one that's ever been publicly acknowledged as a student.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, I did an article with the Philly Inquirer, and he was interviewed for me, and he was like, "Yeah, she's one of my students," and like he's never said that about anybody else.
Oh, nice.
So I'm his
That's
only.
awesome.
I'm technically his only student.
There you go. There you go.
But he's the man. Anyway, so QT Marshall, I've known him for many years. He trained me. He knows I'm a good. He knew I was a good person. So I emailed their company and I emailed their talent relations person, and was asked to come basically like 2 days later because they were going to be doing. They were going to be filming in Philadelphia like that week. So I was asked to come, and I was like, fantastic. So I went. I wasn't used that day, but I made good impressions. I networked. I had a good time. So the next time I was used for a match with Thunder Rosa, and then the next time I was used for an entrance with MJF, and then a couple more times for smaller things that weren't on camera, but just being there. So yeah, it's just honestly, it's the time you've been in the business because I knew people. So when I was there backstage, it didn't feel too scary because WWE can feel a little scary when you go as as an independent wrestler. It felt to me like a locker room I had been in already because a lot of my friends were there. Preston Vance is a good friend of mine. Scorpio Sky, good friend of mine. I knew them all from Ring of Honor, so a lot of them were there from back when I worked there. So it was honestly a really comfortable and cool environment, and still like very, it's still a live TV show, so it's like there's a lot going on, but it's cool. And Sandra Gray works there, and she did my first sets of gear, so I knew her very well.
Okay.
So yeah, they're really cool.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you had a great time there and stuff. You know what I mean? Going down there at AEW and stuff, man. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, because I always hear about that. A lot of people when they come in there, they're like, yeah, yeah, it's pretty much, everybody I know up there. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome and stuff. Yeah, cool. So I gotta ask, yeah. So when you were starting out and stuff, man, you gotta tell me about your first match. How did that go? Do you remember your first match? Is there any video of it, or is it buried in the cave somewhere?
There is video of it on YouTube. Yeah, it's not great video, but there is video, and you can find it. I'm not going to give you instructions.
Okay, so we'll have to do some.
I'm sure you know how to use YouTube.
Yeah. Have to get our Columbo on or something. Okay, yeah. I got it. It's cool.
So it was cool. It was at a show called Factory Fridays, which were our 21 and older shows at the Monster Factory. So really kind of like off the wall, sort of inappropriate kind of environment, which is like I loved. So in that environment, we had all the wrestlers out on each side of the ring, heel side, face side, well, heel side, face side. I was a heel my first match, which is unusual. And my opponent, this was also her first singles match on a show. She had done Battle Royals, but not any singles matches. I had never done anything. I'd just been doing ring announcing and timekeeping. So we called our match really quick and then couldn't talk with each other anymore because we were outside in the audience for the rest of the show. But luckily, because all the other wrestlers were out there, they were around the ring, basically coaching us through the match.
Okay.
And telling us, like, you guys are doing good. This is great. Like, oh, cut her off here. Like, they were like whispering that to us. And it was just like, it was almost like a cheat code kind of match for first match. But I look back on it, and I it's so funny because the last time I watched it was in Japan with my roommates because we were all watching our first matches. And they look like their first matches were like disasters and really, really funny. And they looked at me and they were like, that wasn't even fun to watch because it was a perfectly normal match. So if you watch it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. Like it's not bad. It was with Riley Shepard. She was my first opponent.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I know my first match I reffed. I was horrible. My 3 count, it was like, oh my Lord! Oh man, it was bad. I was like, I didn't know what. I was like, oh man. Next show, I was good. I was fine after that, you know. I mean? But I was like, all right, got that first one under my belt, so I'm good. I'm good. Okay. But at least I made it consistent, you know what I mean? I didn't shoot. I didn't go fast. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be the heel ref, so you know.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, training at the Monster Factory, I mean, you guys, y'all have so much talent and stuff. They all come down to one CW. I feel like, one CW is like half Monster Factory people. You guys and gals are just doing the thing up there and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, what is it like, being on Apple TV? You know what I mean? The Apple TV up there, do you have to like, if cameras are there, do you got, kind of, watch what you say and all that stuff, or are you just like, Psh, I just do what I
Nah,
want?
so speaking of Monster Factory at 1CW, Brian Morris is one of your guys, and
Oh, I love him. He's
he's my
awesome.
boyfriend, so I love
Oh
him
yeah, he's
too.
pretty cool. Okay, there you go. Well, not as much as you, but you know what I mean. Yeah, he's pretty
You
cool. I
might
like
love
him.
him more than me. I don't know.
Oh no, 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 no. I don't know about all that. You know what I mean? He cool. He
No, but
cool
he's
dude.
no. So it's so funny you mentioned 1CW and Monster Factory because I remember when 1CW and CCW were running simultaneously.
Hmm.
Um, before Ryan and I were dating, he was there as just kind of like a battle royal guy, and then
Yeah.
he really quickly rose up the ranks there, and I'm like super proud of him. And it's like it's been exciting to see him just like rise the ranks throughout like professional wrestling as it is. But I just thank you for mentioning that. I just wanted to give him a shout out. But what was your question? Oh, Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV. There you go.
Yeah, I didn't mince my words at all. I was like,
Okay.
you didn't have to. It's Apple TV. I mean, they wanted you to not be like racist or homophobic, which I'm
Oh yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like they didn't have to worry about me doing that. But like I made a couple like I made some not super PC jokes that they thank God didn't put in because like I might have been canceled. But like like I think I made a joke about like how Puerto Rican women have too many kids, and like I'm allowed to make that joke because I'm a Puerto Rican woman. So,
There you
but they were like, "Gab," and I was like, "What? Like, don't be a little bitch."
go.
Like, yeah, You didn't have to, especially with Danny, because he's like such a potty mouth. He he wouldn't have worked with a company that would have told him like, "Oh, you have to censor yourself."
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah,
oh
I feel.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
were
true. You know what I mean?
a lot
Yeah,
of
because
curse words.
yeah, isn't Missy still up there too? You know what I mean,
Yeah,
doing the thing. So oh
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, I love Missy too. She's
me
awesome. I
too.
miss her not coming down with CCW, man. She needs to come down to 1CW and stuff. I haven't seen her in like since
I'll let her
CCW was
know.
last there. Oh
I'll let
yeah,
her
she needs
know.
to come back down. She need to come back down. Yeah. So I gotta ask, I did when I was doing a little research and stuff. I did see you do some like hot food challenges and stuff and all. I gotta ask, like, what is your stomach made of? Is it made of like that stuff Wolverine has? Was it adamantium or is it like some
Yes.
space dwarven steel, some dwarven steel or something by
Wait,
Space Dwarfs or something? Because man, I think it was a hot chip or a hot wing or something. You took that thing down. I was like, all right, let's go, let's do it again. I was like, woo.
it was hot sauce, and it was in
Mm.
Minnesota at the it was with Veda Scott and Holodead. It was us three. And yeah, they were like, "Oh my god, you have to sign a waiver," and I was like, "I'll do it. Like, who cares?" And it was fun. I mean, I had like a little, felt like a burn spot on my tongue for like half an
Mhm.
hour, but like nothing else. Like, I didn't like have like a stomach ache. There wasn't any after effects that were too. I can't. Nothing remarkable. I like spicy food, so
Yeah.
I want to do hot ones. So like one day I want to get famous enough to do hot ones. That would
There
be
you
like a
go.
dream.
That's right. Now, have you done the one chip challenge? I've done that before. That one was I didn't get it. Well, my stomach did kind of hurt or whatever, but it was like I swear it was out of my body like real quick. My body was like, yeah, we gotta get this out. You know what I mean? So the next day I was fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but I had to wake up at 3 in the morning. Like, oh yeah, let's go. All right. But other than
yeah.
that, I was all right.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it in stores anywhere. I'd have to order it online. But I would totally do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I still have about box of stuff. I had things like Satan's toe. Uh, it's like it's something like that, but it's like a lollipop or whatever. You got to hold it in your mouth for however long,
Yeah.
5 minutes or whatever. That stuff. I had because my sister, I think she got it for me for Christmas. I think she was trying to kill me or something. You know what I mean? He got me all this stuff, so I haven't touched it. You know what I mean? I was like,
No,
yeah.
I was with Cheeseburger and some friends getting sushi once, and they like dared one of us to like eat a thing of wasabi, and I
Mhm.
did it, and like they were like recording me, waiting for me to like have like a visceral reaction to it, and I didn't, and I felt like I disappointed them because I was like, "Mm," and then I was like done, and then they were like, "Really?" So it just
Oh
like I
man.
felt bad. I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not excited about this. It just doesn't affect me in the way it does for you guys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know, yeah, 'cause I can do a little bit and all, but I remember I got some hot sauce one time. I was like, yeah, this looks pretty cool. I had like a devil or something on there, and I remember I like took a drop and it wasn't even red; it was black, and I was like, oh no, I was like, I don't know about this, you know what I mean? This
Oh,
stuff might be
yikes.
woo. I remember I went to a barbecue. Some dude was like, oh, I'm half Native American. Give me this. I'm like, I'm part of. All right, you know me too, but all right, do your thing. He put it on there like, yeah, oh yeah. I was like, serves you right. Give my stuff back, man. Gosh, you know what I mean? Jeez. Uh, so it's right now it's Halloween and the Halloween season. You know, are you ready for Halloween? Are you into the Halloween stuff?
Yeah.
Do you go do the tours like Eastern State Pen, maybe Fort Delaware, all that stuff, or you just just like the
Mhm.
spooky movies and all that stuff?
I used to work at Eastern State Penitentiary.
Oh no,
Hmm.
no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I used to I haven't been there in like a year or two, but yeah, I used to go there all the time.
So they changed the name. It's not Terror Behind the Walls anymore. It's called Halloween Nights.
Oh okay.
And yeah, it's the same shit, but it's yeah, I used to work there. I think it's so funny. I love Halloween.
Mm,
I like scary stories. I love
mm,
costumes. I love makeup. I love like the decorations. I love all that stuff. But I hate haunted houses. So
mm.
I wanted to combat my fear of haunted houses by getting a job at one.
Oh, there you
Um, I'm still very scared of haunted houses. It did not work. But I loved working there. It was so fun. I lived right around the corner, so it was easy. I would just walk to work and then have a blast.
go. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, see, I like watching them and stuff, but I don't do the Ouija boards and all that. Like I've never said Candyman or Beetlejuice, 3 or 5 times in a row, just in case.
Yeah, you don't mess with that.
More than likely nothing will happen, but we don't need them out here causing all those shenanigans and stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm
Yeah,
with
we
you.
don't need all that. Yeah, we don't need all that. So you're talking about, being in Philly. The Philly teams are doing well and stuff. You know what I mean? So I gotta ask. You know what I mean? I'm a Baltimore fan because like Baltimore, Maryland. I like the Maryland teams because Maryland's like a mile down the road. This way. But what I mean, do you think maybe a battle of the I-95? Is that what for a World Series? I'm thinking I'd be
Possible.
happy for that
It's
because I always root for
possible.
Philly. Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be a lot of fun. I don't love like excuse me. I like when it's exciting. Like sometimes with like this series with the Marlins wasn't necessarily exciting because it was kind of like we knew what was gonna happen. And I mean,
Mm,
I didn't discount the Marlins for anything. Brian is actually a Marlins fan, which is makes no sense, but that's
mm,
neither here nor
mm.
there. He's from fucking Fairhaven, New Jersey. Like, what is he a Marlins fan
Yeah.
for? But
Yeah.
he's like he told me he's like I watched them in the World Series in 2003 and it really stuck with me and I was like oh, okay. Like I didn't see the Phillies win the World Series until 2008, but I was a fan before that.
Yeah. There you
But
go.
anyway, he's like he has so we were a little bit at each other's throats the last 2 days, but like I was just watching the game like we're gonna win this. Like I don't really
Yeah.
see anything. I don't see any other outcome. But I do like a more exciting series because those are just really fun to watch, you know.
There you go. Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I can't blame him for liking a Miami team because my favorite football team's the Dolphins. Because I'm middle aged. I'm in my 40s. I'm so old that Baltimore didn't have a team. So I was like, I had to pick somebody. I was like, well, I like Dan Marino. He's pretty good. I'll pick the Dolphins. So hey, and I've been a Dolphins fan ever since. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, they had a historic win like 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh yeah, I'm just
That was
hoping
pretty
that
good.
it's finally having a year where the Orioles and the Dolphins are doing well. I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean,
Listen,
that's cool.
that's remarkable. I think we're gonna have like an Ace Ventura Super Bowl this year with the
Oh,
Eagles
that
and the
would be cool.
Dolphins.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, we'd have to get Jim Carrey out there. That would be awesome.
You have to. You have to.
Hmm. That is, yeah. I know if they go to the World Series or something, I probably couldn't afford tickets or whatever, but I'm definitely gonna try to go to a parking lot or something. Somebody's gonna be having some good grill and grub going on there.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
absolutely.
definitely gotta check that out. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, Philly and Baltimore, they never let me down in the tailgate and stuff, man, ever.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Oh yeah. So you're talking about, your next show is this Saturday and stuff. So after that, do you have any more shows coming up? Are you booked up? Or are you still taking healing up a little bit?
I have October 12th, no, October 15th. I'm doing a taping. That's not open to the public, unfortunately, but it's for a company called Labor of Love. And then October 22nd, I'm with BCW for their like Halloween show. It's my debut there, which I'm really excited about. I'm wrestling Emily J.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, doing all your, traveling everywhere, Japan, all that good stuff, everywhere you've wrestled, kick butt, gotten gold, all that great stuff. Are there any funny travel stories that have happened, like you can share, like maybe you've run across a Sasquatch or something, or
I wish. I've
because
driven some Sasquatches around, but I haven't.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I believe that, but because sometimes those night drives, Jersey Devils and stuff, might be flying around, Mothman, it's like, hey.
Okay, yeah. I love cryptids so much.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, honestly, I love traveling alone, so I don't have too many funny stories regarding that. I have one story where it was like me, Cheeseburger, Shaheem Ali, LSG, and myself and Tim Hughes all packed in a car to go to New England, and we all hate the Patriots, all of us. And we went to Gillette Stadium to stop there. And unfortunately, and I hate to say this, Gillette Stadium is really, really nice. Like
Oh, it is.
the whole outside of it is like a shopping plaza with like bars and restaurants and like shops, and we went and we got food. We stayed there way longer than we should have because we were still on the way to the show. And we just like had a blast out there, just kind of like running around, and then we didn't want to leave, and I got in the car and I was like, damn, that was so nice. I really hated how nice that was because I
that's
hate New
oh man,
England.
that's
I hate the Patriots. I hate the Sox. I hate the Celtics.
Like, I'm with you on that. Brady put a hurting on my Dolphins for 20 years, twice a year. I was, it's like I hated Brady so much, but if he played for the Dolphins, I'm like, yeah, that's my favorite player. You know what I mean?
Isn't that some shit? Like it's so true. I never liked Tom Brady, regardless of where he was playing, and he was never going to be in Philadelphia. So, but yeah, like it's just a really nice area, and my brother lives in New England. He lives in a place called Haverhill, Massachusetts. So he's a Philly guy, surrounded by Patriots fans, and like, yeah, I feel for him.
Out there, where our socks, isn't that the Boston accent?
Oh,
they're the ones up there. They'd be like, I want, instead of tacos, they'd be like, can I get a corn tortilla? You know what I mean? Like a taco and a corn tortilla. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how they talk. Okay. Exactly how they talk. I sometimes, if I go visit him, I sometimes come home with that accent because his girlfriend, like her accent's so deep, it's so funny.
Oh man, that's funny. So before I pass it on, back to Remy and stuff, I do gotta ask, are there any, movies and TV shows you're into right now? Because I'm always trying to find something new to watch. I did see you're a big fan of South Park, just like me. I mean, that's like one of my favorite shows. Like,
hell yeah.
I'm not into musicals, but my favorite musical is the South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll sit there like just like in my head, like, shut your effing face, Uncle Effer. I'll sing that in my head. Somebody just. Yeah, they kind of ruined me a little bit, but or what would Brian Boitano do if he were here right now? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Dude, South Park's the best. I like the only show that I have. There's two shows I've gotten into recently, and they're older shows, are Abbott Elementary and What We Do in the Shadows. I'm not really a big scripted TV guy at the moment. I watch a ton of documentaries. I watch a lot of YouTube video essays on all different types of stuff. And so when it comes to TV, like it's hard for me to get into network television and streaming TV because they just fucking cancel shit no matter, like, for no reason. Yeah, and it's like I don't want to get invested in something that gets canceled. But like What We Do in the Shadows is really, really funny. Abbott Elementary is really funny, and it's based in Philly, so it's like it feels like home when I'm watching it. And that's really all I got for you, man.
I watch always What We Do in the Shadows too. I haven't finished the season or whatever. I think I got like 2 or 3 episodes. But that show is great. Just how they do. What's his name? Laszlo. Every time he turns into a bat, he's always like that. You know what I mean? Boom, there he goes. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm like, oh my lord. And then his wife has the little doll with her spirit in there.
I love that doll. I want one.
Oh yes, that is so hilarious. Yeah, that whole cast is funny, and then Yeah. They had the energy vampire. Like when I was watching it, I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's like, he doesn't feed on like Blades like tells awful
It feeds off
stories, and you're
energy.
like,
Yeah. So
yeah,
funny.
and his eyes glow. You're like,
Yeah.
he does it to him all the time. You know, they're like, "Stop it! What are you doing?" I did see, Blade on there. You know, he got to make a cameo, and
Yeah.
the
He
last
does
ep
so good.
yeah, the last episode I watched from this season, what's his name, opened up the door and killed or almost killed the head vampire again, or whatever. So I was like, oh man.
Yeah. It's a mess. It's so funny though. Really, really funny show.
Oh yeah. I'm always, yeah. I love that show. So, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do want to say, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on chat with us. I definitely had a blast. I wish you nothing but the best in all your endeavors that you do. Everywhere you go, you kick butt, get gold, everywhere you go. I hope you get to go on Hot Ones sometime. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. Yeah, fingers crossed, you know what I mean? I hope you get I hope you get to live out all your dreams and everything you want to do and all that good stuff.
Thank you. Very
Yeah, no
sweet.
problem.
Appreciate it.
Oh wait, I don't think Remy's back yet. Hold on. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say we can fill time. I'll think of something. So you're on mute.
I always do that. Gabby, I just gotta say, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to be a guest on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. We know you're busy and whatnot, but once again, welcome back. We know you're back better than ever, 100%. Looking forward to seeing you kick some butt at CCW. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find Rain experiences, purchase, Gabby Ortiz merchandise? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book the gift of Gab for their show?
So across Twitter and Instagram, I am at Gabby, Gabby. I have a link tree in both of my accounts. You can find everything you need to find there. For bookings, you can hit me up at GabbyOrtizBookings@gmail.com. And that's probably the best way to get hold of me because my DMs on Twitter and Instagram are a little ridiculous. So
That's awesome. So those of y'all that heard, she's on social media. Definitely go ahead and give her a follow. And she has that merchandise out. Definitely go ahead and cop that, Gabby Ortiz merchandise. If you can't make the show she's at, that's another way you can actually support her, is actually buying the merch that she has out there as well too. And promoters, y'all heard, she's also, you heard the links. Definitely go ahead and hit her up. You're gonna have an international superstar at your show in Gabby Ortiz. So why not hit up that email, open up that checkbook, and book this woman, because she's doing great things. And she had a WB and WWE tryout, and she was on AEW. So why not? So definitely go ahead and y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. Gabby, keep on doing the great work, and just remember, there's somebody watching right now. You may not think so. You may think, man, Remy, you talking a lot of jazz. You just saying that because you're here. Nah, like I say in my intro, no cap, straight facts. I guarantee you, there's some young girl that's actually watching right now. Maybe in Philadelphia, maybe in your, maybe in your, I can't call it home country, but your, I guess for lack of a better term, cultural country, Puerto Rico. They may be all over in California, but trust me, keep on doing it. I guarantee there's somebody watching. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck, and we'll be cheering for you when you make your trip back. I know you're gonna be back in Japan. Trust me. Come hell or high water, it's gonna happen, and we'll definitely be cheering for you as well too. So with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not that order. But before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Bubba Ray to my Devon, and the Tommy to my Ghost. That's a power reference for y'all that don't know. Rob, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out your experiences, purchase Rob Bass merchandise? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows as well?
You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever it is now, and Instagram at Rob_Bass82, Facebook Rob Bass. This Saturday, our the wrestling school, Workhorse Wrestling Center, we're going to be at the Elks Lodge in Milford, Delaware. It's a 2:00 show. It's free of charge. It's for to benefit for SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Yeah, SIDS. So yeah, come on out, support a great cause. You know what I mean? You get to see the young guys and gals out there wrestling, doing their thing. The next Saturday, 1CW, we're going to be down in Selbyville, Delaware. So we got all kinds of crazy matchups going on. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. You can also catch us every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on Delmarva Sports Network. And if you don't have that, you can download the app on Google, Apple, or go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com and check out any new shows, past shows, all that.
Awesome. Y'all definitely make sure y'all check out 1CW. A lot of great talented men and women. And speaking of 1CW, hey Gabby, tell your boyfriend Brian Ortiz.
Yeah.
I almost thought of,
The Wonder Boy.
hey,
I ain't
if
said he would
y'all
come on. I already talked to him. I talked to
if
him.
y'all get married, I don't know if Rob can officiate weddings, but hey, you already got a guy.
Oh,
at
I
Rob
am I am whatever you call ordained minister.
Brian, my bad, man. But tell your boyfriend, Brian Morris, we coming for him too. We gonna be looking to have him on the show. He's been doing a lot of great things.
Yeah.
So tell him that don't go too far. Rob already mentioned him, so he's definitely on our radar. It's gonna happen real soon. So just tell him that. But if y'all want to follow me on social media, those y'all watching or listening, you could find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. Also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. We're also on social media as a podcast. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on, I guess, Blue Sky now, Threads at Ringside Society. And also we have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise as well. Before I go any further, though, just a heads up for those of you in Sacramento, California, SPW has a free show. I believe it's a free show. Don't quote me on that. This Saturday, October 7th, check that out. And last but not least, I would be very remiss if I did not mention my good friend's show, Marcello, CCW, Capital Championship Wrestling, Misery, October 7th, this Saturday, debuting at the Mecca. That's right, in good old Richfield Park, New Jersey. It's a great venue. I've been there before. Those of you in New Jersey, check it out. Those of you in New York, that's right, it's just across the Hudson. Hop on that bus, that car, that motorcycle, head on over to Richfield. It's not that far. See some great wrestling from CCW and VCW as well, too, which is CCW Sisters Promotion. A lot of great matches are going to be seen there. A lot of debuts. You got people coming in, I believe, even from the West Coast. So definitely make sure you head out there and check out CCW. Definitely don't want to miss this either. And just a heads up, we are actually going to be sponsoring this woman right here, the gift of Gabby Ortiz. So we'll definitely be rooting for you to kick some butt and win that match and get that W. But and our last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see great interviews like this one, like the one we had with several great people. Marcello's been on here. We've had Vita Von Star, the Renegade Twins, the Good Sisters, many great women in CCW, many great men and women all over the world of professional wrestling. You can see those interviews on our YouTube channel. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really handsome, beautiful, dark blue and light blue yin yang sound, the blue frames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. With that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We are one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we just go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at a Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
No, we ain't stopping. You think they'd get it 10 years, man? But with that being said, yo, Rob Bass, you know, we just want everybody to know. You think they got it by now? You think they got it by now?
Hope they do. Hope they do. Hope they do.
Yeah, we're very well aware that everybody and their grandparents and the parents of a podcast. Yes, there's a lot of podcasts out there. But guess what? We're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for CCW Misery, and one time for the former two-time ECWA Women's Champion, who's back better than ever, as that old Daft Punk said, stronger, harder, faster, better, whatever it is. She is new and improved, and she's gonna get that W. The gift of Gabby Ortiz.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back next week. Matter of fact, tomorrow, because we got a Fastlane prediction show. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy,
Bye.
Delaware.